Friends, hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to the Curvy E Chronicles. My name is Courtney and we are cooking our favorite soups this week, friends, so let's dive into it.
Caution, watching the following content may cause extreme hunger. Viewer discretion is advised. Other symptoms may include stomach growling, hunger outbursts, mouth watering, increased salivation, impulse grocery shopping, increased desire to cook, increased to want to come to my house. That will not happen. Increase to hitting that subscribe button, increase to hitting that like button, and increase to leaving a comment. Please do all of the above.
Alright, so we are going to start this week off with a favorite. As you guys know, it's been on the recipe or on my meal plan for a few weeks in a row, but we're doing Zuppa Disana, my copycat from Olive Garden. So we're going to brown up our sausage, and while that's cooking up, I'm going to cut up my onions and my potatoes. So once your sausage is browned, you're going to add in your onions and your garlic, and you're going to let those mingle and get happy together for a couple minutes. After that, we're then going to add in our potatoes. I do like 3 pounds of red potatoes, and then we're going to add in 6 cups of water, and then it technically calls for chicken broth. I just add in a bouillon cube, some Italian seasoning, obviously some garlic salt because those potatoes need salt, and then we are going to let this sit. Yep, there's the bouillon cube. We're going to let this sit for like 20-ish minutes while it simmers and boils and everything gets nice and soft. This looks extra dark because I did not realize that my sausage burned to the bottom of the pan, so there's that. It's okay. It's not as white and creamy as normal. So we're then going to add in our heavy cream. I added in the last of this container. I want to say it was a little bit less than what I should normally do, but it still worked out. And then a bunch of our kale and a little bit of extra soup. This one, friends, is one of our favorites. At the top there, you can see my pathetic attempt at a homemade breadstick. I'm not sharing that yet because I've not perfected it, but recipe number 2, we are moving on to this creamy Italian sausage soup with all the veggies. So again, we're going to start by browning up our sausage, and then while we're waiting for that to cook, we are going to be doing our onions and potatoes. So 1 medium yellow onion and about 3 or 4 of just russet potatoes. I don't even remember what the recipe actually calls for. I think it just says potatoes, but you can see me trying to stir the sausage there so I don't actually burn it this time. Some carrots and some celery. I like this one because it has a variety of veggies, and then the celery does cook down so it's not like super crunchy. So after the sausage is browned up, we're going to add in our onions and our garlic. We're going to let them mingle, get all nice and happy together, very similar to the last soup, and we're just going to stir that up, let it sit for a little while, a couple more minutes till the onions are nice and soft. Then we're going to add in all of our veggies with our seasoning. So garlic, salt, Italian seasoning. That's typically my go-to with most of my soups. And then after we season, we're going to let these mix together and cook a little bit because I want my veggies to soften up and kind of get well mixed in together. And then we're going to add in a can of tomato sauce, a can of crushed or diced tomatoes with the liquid, and then we're going to add in our chicken broth. So I use my Better Than bouillon. You'll see it stuck to the bottom of the container. I'm trying to use it before it goes bad. But from here on out, I'm going to pick up like the seasoning. And then for some reason in the picture in the recipe, it shows the little diatini pasta, but in the actual recipe, it doesn't actually list it. So I add it because it makes it so much heartier. But you're going to toss all this in and let it boil, more simmer than boil, for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then it's going to look a little something like this. And then we're going to turn it on very low, and we're going to add in some more heavy cream. I think it's like a cup and a half. I don't know. I eyeball it. And then we're going to add in a cup of Parmesan cheese. We are going to mix that all together till it looks nice and yummy like this. And friends, this one's one of our favorites. It's extremely hearty, sticks to your bones. There's all kinds of veggies in there. Super good. The kids even really like this one. And with all the leftovers, I ended up just freezing most of them. The Zuppa we ended up eating during the week, but the rest of them, I just put them in a big Ziploc and froze them. So next up is our loaded baked potato soup in the Crockpot. So we started with some onions, and then we've got some Yukon Golds. Then I am just dicing up real quick like. We're going to dump these all in the Crockpot. I want to say I did like 3 pounds of them. We're going to add in some garlic, and then some water, which I don't remember if it's supposed to be broth or water. I don't know. I think it's like basically till it's broth. So like 6 cups maybe. I don't know. Till your potatoes are covered. We're going to season the potatoes. Again, potatoes require a lot of seasoning. So we did some garlic salt, some paprika, a little bit of Johnny's to give a little bit of spice. Not as much as the garlic salt. And then we're going to put this on high for 4 hours because I might have forgot to start it on time. So, but that's really all it takes, because you just want those potatoes to get soft. In the meantime, I am going to cook up some bacon. In the recipe, it does say to put the bacon in while it's cooking in the crock pot. I didn't feel like that was a good idea because I feel like it would get soggy. So I cooked my bacon when I had like probably 10 minutes left on my crock pot. And then you're gonna mash up the potatoes. I just use a potato masher until you get kind of like your desired consistency. We're gonna add in half a cup of sour cream, cheese to your heart's content, and then the recipe calls for Greek yogurt. I didn't have any, and I just used some heavy whipping cream because I liked it to be more of like a soup. And at this point, because it does have to cook a little bit more to get everything nice and happy, I crumbled in our bacon. I also crumbled bacon on top, which was real good. So we did this, let it sit for a little bit, and then I put in a cornstarch slurry. I wasn't sure that I was going to do this because it is optional, but I wanted it a little bit thicker, so I put that in, let it cook for about 30 minutes. We topped it with some extra bacon, some cheese, some chives. It was so good. This ended up giving me 2 extra bags that I have in the freezer now for meals later on. So we're now headed into our last recipe. So we are going to start the oven off at 375, and we are going to make some, I think they call it garlic confit, but basically we're going to roast some garlic. And I didn't want to do it in like the little head, so I put it in a little ramekin, covered in some olive oil and some salt, stuck in the oven 350 for an hour. So start that first before you start anything else. Let that cook and let it sit to the side. So once that's done, then start the chicken here. So we're just diced up a chicken breast, put it in the Dutch oven, or my Dutch oven, with some garlic salt and some paprika, because that's what I like to do. And while that's cooking, we are going to chop up our onion for later. And then we're going to take our roasted garlic, which smelled heavenly. This is about what our chicken should be cooking like too. Once our chicken's done, we're going to take it out of the pan, and then we're going to add butter and mushrooms and get all that good stuff off the bottom. Now's where we take the garlic and, drop the container in the bowl, and it's very hot, and yep, there we go. That's me. That's cooking with Courtney. At least I didn't drop anything on the floor today. And then we're going to take in a jar of already made Alfredo. You can make your own if you want. This is just real easy because this soup is a little more labor intensive. We're going to blend those together. You can use a blender, food processor. I happen to have an immersion blender. It works out great. So once our mushrooms are sweated, I don't know if that's really what you call it, but nice and cooked, we're going to take those out. We're going to add in our onions with some more butter, let those get translucent. Then we add in a tablespoon of flour and stir that around to get all the good bits off the bottom. We're gonna making a roux to make our base of our soup kind of thing. And then from here, we're going to add in 4 cups of chicken broth, and we're going to stir that in real slowly till we get to the bottom, get all that bolder than bouillon out, and then we're going to slowly add in our half and half. I want to say it's supposed to be like 2 cups of half and half, something like that. I don't know if that's what this was. We were pretty dang close. I'm going to call it close. I thought it was good. Then we're going to add in our prepared roasted garlic sauce. So we just add all of that into the bowl as well. It was really easy, and I will tell you, having the pre-cut garlic pieces instead of having to like cut the head off the garlic thing was so much easier. Italian seasoning, garlic salt, you guys know that's what I put in almost every dish I make, especially if it's like a soup. Stir that all in, and then we're gonna break in our lasagna pieces. This is kind of the whole gist behind the soup. We're going to let that boil for about 10 to 15 minutes. Once it looks like that, we're going to turn the heat off. We're going to add in our cheese. We're going to add in our chicken and our mushrooms, and we're going to stir that bad baby up. And that is all she wrote, friends. This one's one of my favorites. The kids aren't so much of a fan of it. They're not a fan of mushrooms, but it's one of my favorites. But friends, that is all she wrote for today's soups. Our favorite fall soups. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out, hit that subscribe button, friends. And as always, remember until next time to spread kindness like glitter. Bye, guys.